I am so excited to have Dr. Rob Rutledge and Dr. Gabriella Elie join us tonight. I've been trying to do this for a long time through Kidney Cancer Canada, and we were very blessed to have Dr. Timothy Walker last year at our patient forum. So some of you that are joining us tonight would probably remember Dr. Tim's mindfulness session. So it was very, very popular. So anyway, Dr. Rob Rutledge is a radiology oncologist. Sorry, I'm going to trip over my
That's
words
right, it's no
here.
problem.
In Halifax, Nova Scotia, specializing in breast, prostate, and pediatric cancers, and is also an associate professor at the Faculty of Medicine at Dalhousie University. In 1999, Dr. Rob co-created the Skills for Healing Cancer Weekend Retreats, and these weekend support groups teach a powerful and integrated approach to the cancer diagnosis and ways to heal at levels of body, mind, and spirit. And that echoes something that I believe in and try to bring through Kidney Cancer Canada. We need to treat the whole patient, mind, body, spirit. And to date, more than 2,000 people have attended more than 60 retreats in over 30 cities in Canada and abroad. Rob is the CEO and chair of the Healing and Cancer Foundation, a registered charity that freely offers educational videos, documentaries, and webcasting seminars. I suggest you check out that website. And he's co-authored the book, The Healing Circle, which captures the teaching and inspirational stories from the weekend retreats. Rob has received a Cancer Care Nova Scotia Award for Excellence in Patient Care, and Doctors Nova Scotia presented him with a Health Promotion Award in recognition of his contribution to physician health and health promotion in cancer patients. And next we have the illustrious Dr. Gabriella Elie. And I'm going to pronounce this wrong. I apologize, Gabriella. It's what kind of scientist are you?
I'm a scientist in quality of life, cancer survivorship and cancer care quality of life.
But is it?
Oh, Solcha. Solcha means guiding light in Gaelic in Scottish.
Oh gosh, really?
Yeah, it's guiding
that
light.
makes it even better.
It has been the impetus actually for me getting the job. I really like the title.
That's great. And you are also a psychology professor at Dalhousie University and a certified relationships workshop facilitator. Your research focus is on improving the quality of life of patients diagnosed with cancer through interventions that speak to all aspects of living: mind, body, social connection, intimacy, and psychological growth, to improve the patient education, to empower the patient, and inform the standards of patient care. As your lead scientist in her field, Dr. Elie volunteers her time and scientific knowledge, translation expertise to the prostate cancer support and cancer survivorship organizations, supports philanthropic activities and raising funds for cancer research. And you've given patient empowerment and education talks nationally and internationally about people and to people affected by cancer. You have over 60 publications and 3,000 citations. You write in highly ranked journals such as the Journal of American Medical Association, and you have presented at numerous world events, including the International Association of Psychosocial Oncology Congress. So welcome to you both.
Oh my gosh, that is so kind.
Thank you.
So nice.
Thank you.
And two of the loveliest people I've ever met. So let's have a great evening. Thank you.
Thanks, Christina. That was a wonderful introduction. I'm also thinking, hats off to you and Kidney Cancer Canada.
Thank you.
Because the title, Let's Talk About How We're Feeling, and then I have to add, 7 ways to maximize your physical and mental health. But this is the power of the new technology of Zoom, connecting with, it's 27 people on the line right now, because we can really learn from each other and empower each other. And we often forget about these other ways that can really change your physical and mental health.
Yes. And forming a community. How precious is this? We're sharing life.
Yeah.
We are sharing life for an hour, 2 hours, as long as we're going to be together.
Yeah.
our lives are like this. That's connection right here.
Yeah.
That's a precious gift.
And it has a tremendous influence on your health, right? So we're going to kind of go through this. I've often thought about, well, how is it you maximize your chance of recovery? How is it you give yourself the best chance of feeling better, longevity, cure, et cetera, et cetera? And it's the combination of the best of the medical system and everything else you can do to empower yourself, levels of body, mind, and spirit. And it's that marriage together. And I came at that from a very kind of individualistic perspective. And Gabriella, my wife, has actually taught me that the social connection part of this is actually extremely important, because when we are connected, we don't feel so lonely. It actually improves our immune function, improves our brain function, improves all aspects of our lives. And so I'm gonna teach you the kind of practical stuff that you need to do, but I want to take it through the lens of how to stay connected, how to really make a difference in your life in all aspects. So really excited to kind of give it from that perspective.
That's wonderful, love.
Yeah.
And also we want to keep it organic. You see, for example, Lynn raised her hand.
Perfect.
So talk to us. Let this be organic. Let this be a classroom where we shed light on something that really matters. Let us be authentic, speak from the heart, and say it as it is.
Yeah.
You know, this is our classroom.
Tell your truth. Go ahead, Lynn.
Well, I'm just so excited and just thrilled to be here for this class. I really am. I've listened to Dr. Rutledge before, and I just can't say enough good things about you. I
Thank you.
spread that word to many people. I'm from a Wellspring group, and so that's where I first saw you. So
Thank you. That's
I'm
wonderful.
just
I'll pay you the other $50 after.
He's a
the
good
talk,
man.
so-
I'll keep him, Lynn.
I think you better. And I think it goes. I think it goes both ways from what I've seen so far.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so sweet.
But I just wanted to ask before we start, will there be, should we take notes, or will there be anything that will be sent to us in the way of slides or notes or?
I think Christine said that for the people attending, we'll send you this actual recording. So you don't have to really take notes in some sense. And I'll point you to some resources as well. And the last thing I want to say is just those, thanks so much, Lynn, just from, it makes me feel better, brings my energy up. I also want to say that I think this talk is actually very powerful within the kidney cancer world, because I've been for the last 30 years trying to figure out what is it that people do to facilitate that incredible healing, right? How do you maximize your chance of recovery? And so I've read about the spontaneous remission community, and it seems to me like kidney cancer has that higher probability of actually making the home run. And I think it's partly because some kidney cancers are really responsive to the immune system. And so if we can up the immune system to function at its absolute highest level, you actually give yourself the best chance of having kind of immune response and doing very, very well.
And today we're talking about practical solutions, really practical, tangible solutions. What can you do? What's in your power to do to facilitate this release of hormones that we know they produce? They bring healing, they bring transformation, they bring the body to a homeostasis, meaning a state of balance. What is it that can we do about our thinking that also affects how we feel, that could be changed in a way that empowers us and also releases those hormones that we know to be extremely beneficial?
Exactly.
So we're going to do our best to keep it very practical. Yeah. And it's lovely that we are couples and we're also very transparent. We try to keep it as authentic as we can. And so we're going to speak from that perspective. This is not a top down, bottom up. This is let's talk. We're all humans. Listen, we wake up in the morning and both Rob and I, to put our pants on, we have to raise a leg.
Well, one leg at a time.
There you go. So, we're so much more alike than different. Let's keep it that way.
Agreed.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's so sweet. Thanks, Lynn. And I'm just going to mute the people who are not talking. I also want this to be participatory. So please chat in the questions. Christine will keep an eye out for the questions and so on. In fact, I'll be asking you questions through chat or whatever else. So I just want to go to the title, back to the title and share this and all the rest of it. So fantastic title. The authenticity part of this. Now, I also want to just ask a really practical question. What's your goal? Like, what do you want to learn? Why are you here? What's the purpose of this? Because I think it's important to kind of set that intention. So after you get a kidney cancer diagnosis or another type of cancer diagnosis, what do you want? What are your outcomes? So I'm looking forward to some chats here. Or the brave soul. Go ahead, Yvonne.
I would just like to know, I guess, more the process and the after, where I will end up, I guess, really, like I don't know where I'm going to be. I'm just starting
Right.
the journey.
Yeah.
So I guess that's really what I want.
Agreed. And it is the power of support group as well, right? Because other people will share their stories, not necessarily tonight, but other people can share their stories. You get this opportunity to hear those experiences and you don't feel so alone in the process. So feeling less alone is part of it, getting the knowledge about the medical system and what's going to happen next. And then I'm very pragmatic, becoming comfortable with the unknown. Like, can we relax into it? Going, I'm not sure what's going to happen in the future. I've got this moment right now. How can I live my moment to the fullest? That's
and one of the things that we're going to be talking about is how to access that higher part of our mind. And that's where we get a little bit in the spiritual realm. That high part of our mind that has brought us joy in our lives, where we experience connection and love with the people around us. And then with that mind, so once we elicit that remembering, then look upon the situations. The difference, maybe the outer environment won't change, right? So the progression, say, of the cancer might be the same, but if I look at it with that mind, my internal experience will change as a result of it.
Agreed.
And that's the piece, because you're right, like you were saying, a lot of people are saying, listen, there you are, I'm in the doctor's office and they're telling me I've got cancer. And for a moment, it feels like there's not a damn thing I can do about it. And Rob and I are here today to tell you that there are many things that you can do. And we're going to talk about those practical things that you can do to empower yourself and feel in control of your life.
So what I've found is people say, well, I want to be cured of my cancer, right? So it's like very practical. I mean, yes, that's certainly possible for you. Or if it's not possible, then I want to go for longevity. But there's so much more that I would say people want, really. Big picture, I'm going to say, let's improve your immune function, because this is kind of what it's about. We want to feel better from a quality of life perspective. We want those emotions of angst and fear and upset and all the kind of anxiety stuff to kind of settle down, so that, as Gabrielle is saying, we can actually have that bigger perspective that transcends the kind of little things that happen. And I would add other two to this is you want to be able to function better, right? So you love to do some things, you have priorities within your life. So you want to be able to function better as well. And ultimately, I think life is about relationships.
Yes.
Right. And so I'd say by doing these things, you can actually stay more connected.
Yeah, you can learn how to be more present.
Right.
So you can fully enjoy the people around you and every moment as it's passing by.
Right. So whether you've got 2 years to go or 52 years to go, you want to live your life fully by doing these things that serve those greater goals. I'm just going to show you the quick kind of overview slide as well, in terms of what we're going to talk about. So a little bit about the medical system, stress reduction, and then really we're going to delve into some of the relationship ways to connect, because there is a methodology in science, and I'm sitting beside a great scientist there. The other thing is I just want to make sure that I'm clear about this. So even though we're talking about body, mind, and spirit, it is this integration perspective. The empowerment piece is the understanding, accessing the medical situation, the getting the best care possible, advocating for yourself. And then we're going to get into the kind of body, mind, and spirit part of this. And then, as Gabrielle has taught me, the kind of social perspective. So I'm just going to stop there. And so, guys, as we go, I'm going to ask you to keep on chatting, do the little chat function if you've got that question, and keep asking you questions. This is going to be kind of back and forth. If not, you're going to just listen to us chatting at each other. So, The last thing I want to do just before we get going, I just want to spend like a minute or two in what I call setting the intention, right? Because what happens to all of us, I think, is that we get out into the world, we're having these experiences, and we can get pulled away from what's most important to us. And so, for instance, I mean, I suffer this every day because I do my kind of morning. We usually do a little bit of meditation together, and then I'm setting. It's usually a secular type of prayer, like, let me be helpful, let me be, compassionate. I just want to be the best person that I can be, and just let me be the best physician I can be. So I'm kind of saying a prayer in that sense, and then I kind of let it go. So that's the setting of intention. And then I get pulled into the day, and somebody says something like this, and I get irritated with that. I forget that what's important to me is that I'm a loving person, that I love each and every person in front of me, that I serve that person in front of me the best as possible.
Yes,
and so it's so important to remember what's most important to you.
bless you.
How do you want to live your life? So you set that intention in the morning, you set that intention going into difficult situations. You set that intention when you do get kind of pulled away and you recognize, oh, I've lost it. I'm angry, flustered, upset. Let me come back home to what's most important to me. And so that's all to say that I'd like to do like a 2-minute, 3-minute relaxation exercise in which we set our intention to do that as a kind of exercise right now. So you good with this?
Wonderful. Yeah. I'm so happy that we're doing this.
So if it feels right for you, you participate in the way that feels best. Come back home by just kind of get a stronger posture. So sitting with your back more straight, feeling like the top of your head is being drawn towards the sky. Feet are flat against the floor, hands on your thighs. And now come back home to the sense of being connected in your body. So you come back home to this moment through the physicality, the sense of connection with the floor, with the earth, with gravity. Bring your consciousness into your body. It energizes your body, helps to heal your body. And feel the weight of the body in the chair, sitting bones. Bring your attention to your backbone. And feel that physicality, the solid, strong spine. Bring your attention to the front of your chest. Be curious. What do you feel there? It's like a warmth or a vulnerability, a rawness. And as you contemplate that, that is our humanness. We're a solid, strong spine, and we have a warm, open heart. It's both. Now, inviting a sense of calm and peace into your body. So it's almost as if you're breathing in that sense of calm and peace. On the in-breath, you breathe that in. It permeates into your heart and chest. And on the out-breath, allow your body to relax. Just let go and relax. So in-breath, invite in that sense of loving kindness, that sense of peace, sense of joy, sense of calm. Out breath, release. Very nice. Now the visualization starts with allow your heart to warm. Sense of compassion, sense of caring. Easiest if you bring to mind a loved one or a little child or a pet. And allow yourself to feel that warmth, that connection, that warm, healing feeling amidst your chest. And think of somebody in your life who's suffering in some way or form. So maybe somebody close to you, maybe somebody at a distance. And allow that warm, healing feeling from your heart to permeate It's almost as if like a ray of sunshine or a radiant light, warm wave of healing energy. And imagine that that's going right into their heart and that they can feel it. They know in some way or form that you're sending that loving energy to them. Now think of the other people in your life that you're close to. So it could be your partner or family or friends or cherished colleagues. And as each person's image or idea comes to mind, again, just send them that healing energy and recognize that your heart is growing. You're like a being of healing light. And you're sending that healing energy to each and every person. Allow that to expand further to everybody on the call now. Everybody that's had a cancer diagnosis. They may be early in their journey, they may be late in their journey. Just send that warm, healing feeling. Imagine that you're now connected as a beautiful web of healing light. Wishing them well, that they may find healing in whatever way is best for them. And also accepting that for yourself. And extend that again to everybody who has a kidney cancer diagnosis in Canada or in the world. Let each and every one of them find peace and connection, and let them find healing on their journey. And extend that again to anybody who's had a cancer diagnosis anywhere in the world. Extend it again to anybody who's suffering. So you're like a being of healing light, a sunshine, warm healing energy permeating in every direction. And it's also permeating through your tissues, through your body, through your psyche, through your emotions. Your transmitter and receiver, this beautiful healing energy that is also having an influence on you very directly as you extend that love and connection out to everybody, everywhere. And from that space, set an intention for yourself. How is it that you need to heal? How do you want to connect? How do you want to lead your life? What do you value most? And how can you manifest that? And let that be so. Now release any sense of visualization and simply come back to being present in your body. Sense of connected with the earth, your feet, you're connected with the earth, your body, your gravity, your strong spine. You are solid. And also recognize that you're also tapped into this kind of sense of openness, possibility of healing, transformation, and that your good human heart connects those two, the earthly, pragmatic manifestation, and also that incredible love, healing, and energy. Ding! Forgot my chimes. Ding! Oops.
Thank you. That was beautiful.
Thank you. That's really sweet. Folks, I'm hoping actually we can, from that, actually stand up here for like a minute and just
I'm completely melted. I'm like butter on hot toast.
So yeah, so just maintain that kind of sense of warmth and connection, but allow your body just to move a little bit. Maybe even kind of look up towards the sky or raise your hands or rub your heart, rub your belly. Don't look at the computer, just kind of stretch and move and shake a little bit. Oh yeah. There, I'm feeling better. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate this. Really appreciate the participation. And also, I know you may not say anything, but you actually have an influence on how we present. Honestly, is this like that's how
Minds are joined. Minds are joined.
consciousness works that way?
Minds are joined. Len, thanks for the thumbs up.
Yeah.
Mine's are joined.
Yep.
And you know, it's while you were saying the prayer or where you were guiding
Yeah.
us to the meditation, I was actually thinking of every heart in this room and an answer perhaps that somebody's seeking, or some joining of some sort that everybody
Yes.
because that's actually what we all want.
Yes.
We want a common denominator.
Yeah.
We want to connect with each other at that level of humanness, at that level
Heart to
of
heart.
yeah.
Yeah. And that's why, I mean, yes, exactly. It's beautiful. That's why my mind is, well, why do we do these things? Like I'm going to say to you, exercise, 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 but there's a greater purpose, right? Because this is the vehicle.
Yeah.
The body is the vehicle that allows you to connect. The body is the vehicle that allows you to manifest your greatest values.
Yes.
So we want to take care of it because you can like, enjoy your life more.
Yes, because while I appear to be here in this classroom we call Earth, right, with the curriculum, the lessons that we ought to learn, and the people in our lives that are our teachers, right? We want to work through those lessons, and this is the vehicle through which we do that. So might as well graduate
Exactly.
and learn our lessons as we move on.
Exactly. And so you function better, you think more clearly, you have more energy, you're doing the things that you love to do. So that's why I'm going to go through this right now. So okay, so exercise.
And you know what? The wonderful thing that I like, Rob, is that actually you do what you preach. We actually do what we preach. We exercise.
It's
we
like,
exercise.
It's like the foundation.
It
the
is.
foundation is when you do that, you have more energy. It's just, that's how the system works, right? So how much, okay, hon, I think it might be easiest if I kind of ask
me.
You.
Oh no.
I yesterday asked her what 9 times 7 was. And
don't you even go there.
And anyways, it was just because, she's like a brilliant stats.
I jumped on his back. We were teasing each other. We were acting like 14-year-olds. Thank God nobody knew who we were on that street. You would have not believed us.
Yes, agreed. So it's going to be the same scenario.
Oh no, you're putting me on the spot.
So, and I don't want to use the word exercise necessarily. It can be physical activity, but like how much are we aiming for? Like what's the recommendation per week, for instance, of exercise?
150 minutes a week.
So she's going to be on the spot today. So if you're not there now, you slowly work yourself up to it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
How hard does it have to be?
Well, you need to have a little bit of sweat on the brow. You need to, your heart has to beat a little faster.
More beating, like in that first 2 minutes or so, it's like, oh, it just feels a little bit uncomfortable.
I have a question for you. How about all the ladies here? Because I know we clean our house. Do you know how I sweat when I go and do the laundry and I go up the stairs and down the stairs?
Yes.
Huh? Doesn't that count?
It does count for certain. You want to make sure you kind of maintain it during that time. And even if you have 10-minute intervals, 30 minutes a day is important. The other thing that we're suffering from right now is that we're typing all day long. Sitting is the new smoking.
It is.
Right?
It is.
And so every hour up for at least 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So even if you do all this exercise that we're talking about, if you're sitting, watching TV, laying down for too long a stretch, it actually changes the blood sugars, puts your heart at risk.
And you know what? I'm going to share with you something really interesting. It's a study that I conducted 2 years ago. 1.7 million people we had in that sample.
Wow.
And we looked at men and women, men with prostate cancer and men and women with pancreatic cancer. And one of the findings that is still puzzling to me, Rob, is that sedentarism was definitely a factor, a risk factor for both prostate and pancreatic. And you say, Gabriella, this is kidney. But I have a point. Stay with me. Because the point is that I was thinking to what extent the lifestyle of a woman might be actually a preventive factor. Because, I was working on my computer, as you say, All right. But I had laundry downstairs. So I had to get up because I had no choice. Somebody has to pick up that laundry
from
from.
doing the laundry.
So I go downstairs and that kind of forces me. It's a blessing and a curse. A curse because I don't want to do laundry, but a blessing because I had to get up and do the laundry.
That's why I forced her to do the laundry. So I'm just joking. I do
So
the
I went
laundry
down.
again.
Yes, you do. Yes,
Yeah.
you do, honey. So I went downstairs. Actually, you do. Yeah. We're very blunt. You're going to find out a lot about our relationship tonight. This is counseling for them.
That's exactly therapy. You guys are all like a therapist for us.
But
so.
seriously, I mean, ladies, isn't it true? I mean, and you cook, you have to get up, right? You need to go grocery shopping. You need to water the plants. If you have a garden, you need to, put seeds in the feeders, in the bird feeders. If you have a cat or a dog, you need to feed the dog, feed the cat.
Yeah, no, and that activity is important. I mean, because you don't want to be sitting during those same times. But on top of that, you need to kind of get that kind of sweat on the brow, slightly shorter breath, the activity that kind of gets you into that next realm.
Yeah.
So guys, here it
and
is.
And self-love plays a great factor into actually adopting this.
Agreed.
Say to yourself, every time you get up and you go for a walk, say, I love myself enough to give this gift to myself.
Yes.
I'm going to go out there. I'm going to let fresh air enter my lungs and the little bit of light and sunshine bathe my skin.
Nice.
And I'm going to watch, I'm going to look around people's gardens, and I'm going to watch little dogs being walked and people passing me by and little cars passing.
Right.
I'm alive and I'm still kicking.
It's the meta message for me. To exercise is to say, it's like, you're taking this meta message that says, I want to get better. I want to get stronger. I want to recover. And your body responds to that. It knows that you actually want to recover, get stronger.
Another incentive to us doing this that made me realize is the fact that, to teach is to demonstrate.
Agreed.
So the question is, what do we want to demonstrate? And you won't believe it. We have a patient empowerment program in prostate cancer. And part of this program is we teach men how to do exactly that. Exercise 150 minutes a day. We have 2 days of a week. We have 2 days of strength exercises a week, and the rest they do aerobic. The bottom line is that they get into shape so much. They're eating healthily, that they're having those healthy habits, living habits, that their kids are now saying, look at mom and dad, they have carrots for snack. And they talk about healthy eating habits and healthy living. So you really change the community around you. So it's another form of love. It's another way to demonstrate what you want to learn.
Yes, agreed.
The gift that you give to yourself, you give to everybody around. So there's another incentive.
You're modeling it. Okay.
Yeah.
So now this is it, guys. I need to hear from you the tricks of the trade. What is it that you do that maximizes the chance that you actually get out there or stay inside and do something that kind of gets that heart going? Christine, do you want to answer? You want to answer? Give us one suggestion?
I will jump in, and I'm also going to give you a question.
Yeah.
I love being outside all seasons. So I may not be a long distance walker, but I do like to get out. I take my dog for a walk. Like I make it an errand. Like if I have an errand to run, then I walk rather than jumping in, the short distance to the car. Yeah. And like Gabriella says, I'm very lucky to work at home. So I'm very conscious of the time that I spend sitting. And then I'll just take, if it's nasty outside, I'll walk around, like do loops around the house.
Perfect.
Or I'll go and, throw the laundry in or whatever. I'm not an overly athletic, I used to be, but I'm not an overly athletic person now. But I think that this leads to my question. It may not be because of desire, but it may be because of physical capability of the amount of exercise or the type of exercise, especially with kidney cancer patients that are ongoing treatment that are compromising their physicality, or their surgery is compromising their physicality. So maybe, I'm interested to hear from anybody else that might have some suggestions, or Rob or Gabriella, if you can make some suggestions, that would be great.
Agreed. I mean, it's like being like, please folks, just chat that in or interrupt the conversation and add to that. the point is that good.
Yvonne and Lynn.
Go ahead, Lynn.
You know what, I just came to my mind, again through Wellsprings, there's various programs there, but
Mhm.
for people who can't really move around too much and aren't too active, one of the things that I do, like I do walking, and I try to
Mhm.
invested in this wonderful little watch that tells me how many steps a day I've done. And I try to compete with it because it's saying you're not there yet. And I'm going to be there. But anyway, that's just the walking for me. But a thing at Wellsprings is it's called Share Yoga.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it's a wonderful program. It's very easy to do.
Yeah.
And they adapt anything. Sometimes we'll get up and do a pose by standing. Well, for some people, they just can't get up.
Yeah.
So she adapts all of
Right.
the exercise of the chair yoga,
Yeah.
even in the standing
For
position.
each
She
person.
adapts it to just sitting.
Yeah.
And it is really, really a beneficial thing.
Yeah.
It's just one thing that maybe, somebody
That's-
might be able to tap into.
Agreed. And there's a lot of kind of YouTube
Thank you.
videos or going online where you can find a little exercise program that might be just at your level, whether it's a sitting yoga or whatever else.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Yvonne.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So there's a thing called harmony yoga.
Sec, Yvonne, you have to unmute yourself.
I said, I walk a couple of times a day, minimum of 1 kilometer a day with my dog.
Wow.
I have my garden. I'm doing a lot of gardening. And now that COVID's here, well, we're starting to get back into it. But I go to a friend's place and we do chair yoga together.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping to get back to the Y. I was doing 5 days a week with Aquafit and some chair yoga, but
Yeah.
can't go there right now.
Yeah.
So
Another thing that could be beneficial is something called Qigong. And there are some postures that really work with only certain parts of the body that can be incredibly beneficial, and
Yeah.
bring, again, that level of homeostasis where you feel, energy is flowing again
Yes.
and
Yes.
in a natural state.
Agreed. So the takeaway, I mean, it's lovely to have the 3 people kind of offer some perspectives. Do
Mhm.
stuff you like, right?
Yes.
Make it fun.
Mhm.
Make it social if you can, like you have like a walking buddy or that type of thing, but integrate it into your day, right? Just keep it and recognize all this kind of motivations that we're talking about. There are other kind of tricks of the trade.
Yeah, I mean, I have Rob basically every day picking at me if I don't move. And even if you work for 30 minutes, you would say, okay, hon, let's go, hitting balls.
Right, we're gonna hit the
And-
tennis
and-
ball against the wall,
Yeah,
for
but how
instance.
do you ask me? Because you do it so suavely. I've never been with a man. I'm just jumping the moment he says, would you please, that there's such respect in that question
Well,
and the way you're asking
It
me,
does come from a
that I
sense
just
of
jump.
a caring, right? It's
Oh,
like,
I feel it.
because I know
I
that
feel the love.
getting up and doing
Yeah.
something gives you more energy,
Yeah.
clears your minds, improves the emotions, decreases the
It does.
depression. Like there's so many benefits to it in terms of energy, getting through treatment. So this is another thing for the kidney cancer world, right? You're on treatments that kind of can zap the energy. By maintaining whatever activity you can, you actually maintain your ability to get through the treatment. It
Very
gives you
true.
more energy. So it's
So
paradoxical.
here's a thought for you. Actually, it just dawned upon me, because if you have a buddy with which you're doing exercise,
Mhm.
you're engaging in more than just doing exercise together. You're seeing each
Mhm.
other's interest as one's
Yes.
own.
Yes.
And that's a very healing place,
Mhm.
because we feel validated.
Yeah.
We feel seen. We feel loved. We can relax in that.
Yeah, that person
Somebody
cares
got-
for me. Yeah.
Somebody cares for me.
The other one is if you have a kind of routine saying, okay, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm going to walk with my buddy at 8 a.m.
Mhm.
So on, Monday and Wednesday you do it. Friday morning, both of you guys are like, oh, I'm tired. I really don't want to do this. But you're not going to call up your friend, I'm too tired, I don't want to do this. You say, I'm going to do it because they're doing it. And they're thinking, I'm going to do it because I'm doing it. One of those. So it's kind of like the buddies are much more likely to
Very
succeed
much so.
doing it together. And you get all that kind of sense of connection
Oh,
as well.
yeah, at the same time.
Yeah.
It is
Okay.
fun to do things together.
So just
And we'll talk about love languages and ways of meeting our emotional needs. And you won't believe it, just how many of your emotional needs could be met
Mhm.
by interacting with another person. Because what we want to do is definitely, we don't want to go through a cancer diagnosis with our love tank low, because that's life
Mm.
energy, that's healing and transformation energy. Love tank is low, no good. We got to
do what you can to
Fill the
kind of-
tank.
Yeah, do what you can. You make the best, right? Because sometimes the situations are very difficult and the tanks can be low, but these are optimal ways to do this. Okay, so number 2 is the anti-kidney cancer diet. There it is.
I'm very excited about that.
Rob, can I just interrupt one second? I think Brian Hartwick had a quick question. Can we just see
Oh.
if Brian would like to?
I don't know whether I'm unmuted or not.
Oh, you're good now.
You're
Okay.
good now. Hey, Brian.
Hi, sorry I was late.
It's okay, Brian.
I think one of the biggest things, like I've been through a couple of cancers, prostate and now kidney. And I think one of the biggest things that I found is that you don't feel great every day. And you are, I mean, if anybody's sitting out there above the 26 participants and saying, oh, isn't this lovely how wonderful they feel? You don't every day. And your patience and your little tiny baby steps are so important, because, I mean, you go back, if I go back a year or something, I was a mess. And your body is a tremendous thing, that if you do get that positive energy in there and you think just a little bit and you don't expect a whole bunch, it can slowly surprise you.
Yes.
So that was just the one thing, because I see a lot of happiness and joy and love and excitement, but
Yeah.
there's maybe somebody that's not quite there yet. So
Beautifully
So
said.
I want to say something with regards to that, because later on in today's presentation, we'll be talking about the importance of physical touch and hugging and actually holding someone. And research at University of California and Miami University has found that when you actually hold someone with with love, with really
Or your
true
pet.
affection,
Yeah.
or your pet or
Yeah.
yourself, and we'll be going through the self-hug today, and actually how to self-hug. What that does, among the many things that you're going to see, one of them is increase patience. So people that engage, and not just once or twice or 3 times, we're talking 10 or more times a day, have more patience. Look at Brian's smile, have more patience that those that don't. So that is why it's so important, if you're single, if you're not in a relationship at the moment and you don't have a pet, because if you have a pet, you hug the pet, is to learn how to self-hug. There is a way to self-hug. And one of the things we're going to be doing today, towards when we get to that part of the presentation, is talk about how do you self-hug, because there is a way to do this.
Yeah.
In fact, there's actually a science to even how to hug another person. And very few people know. You just don't tap, tap, tap. And we'll talk about that.
Yeah. But I do want to recognize Brian's point here is that at times during the cancer journey, zero energy, and it's really hard to say, I'm going to do something,
Agreed.
Or we're talking about 30 minutes of exercise per day. No, we do just like you're saying, Brian, just the baby steps. And that's the remarkable part about the human body, is that, like, it might be just, I remember hearing this guy that went through a transplant. So like for the first week, he just like stepped out of his bed and just kind of stood up. That was his workout. The second week, it was like over to the chair. The third week to the corner of the room. It's like you slowly get stronger. And what I'm talking about is, just like you're saying, Brian, over a year, like a professional athlete, you're slowly training yourself to get stronger, recognizing it is super hard in day one when you have next to nothing to work with.
Yes,
So,
yes. And forgive yourself. Don't carry any guilt.
yeah.
And just so that we're clear, we are no different. We have days and times when we don't do anything, when we are not productive, when we would choose to just, float by, be a vegetable that day. And that's okay for as long as you forgive yourself about it. And,
Yeah, the patience, forgiveness, et cetera, and start where you're at, right? This is also part of the empowerment piece, of the proactivity piece, is what can you influence? What can you do? And there's little baby steps that can put you there. Another thing that you can really do is I want to talk about diet.
Yes.
Who is the brave soul who's going to talk about what is a good anti-kidney cancer diet? I want to hear just somebody, like what are some of the principles of this one? Who's a brave soul? You can even chat that one. One principle of a good diet.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well,
You go
we're
ahead.
really working on
Sir?
low salt.
Yes. Good. Kim, can you keep on
Yeah.
going?
I was going to say no salt or less salt.
Yeah. How about
And-
vegetables? What's the role of vegetables? Vegetables and fruit.
Well, what I found out when I was doing reading was you got to watch your phosphorus and your potassium.
Right.
So it's a hard journey. It is hard to know.
Right. Excellent. But you can learn, right? This is also the
Yes.
power of the sport. Why did we talk about? Let's talk about how we're feeling. This is the power of, tapping into the medical system is like tapping into the nutritionist who helps people with kidney issues, right? But the point is, there is science to this, and there's something called an anti-inflammatory diet. So we don't want to be eating red meat, for instance, because that just inflames the gut and inflames the whole system. You want to have the healthy fluids, for instance. You want to make sure you have the healthy fats within your diet. You want to have this balanced diet that feels good for your body, right? So
Food is medicine.
food is medicine. Okay, so if you do that research and you figure this out and you listen to your body as to what makes you feel good and gives you energy and so on, what are some tricks of the trade that will help you to actually manifest this, to actually do this on a day-to-day? I would say, for one thing, it takes planning. It takes
does.
time,
Yeah.
right? So you're investing in your health by learning and then shopping appropriately. And what we've found is that if you don't buy the junky stuff when you go to the grocery store, like your salty chips, for instance,
Yeah, you can't have them.
and if it's
'Cause they're nowhere to
10:30
be
at
found.
night and it's not in the cupboard, you can't eat them, right? So it's like, it's this kind of issue of self-love to say, I want to take care of myself, and this is how I'm going to do it.
Yeah, and I'm a living example of that. When Rob and I got into our relationship, I liked my things. I like some things, and he would take them. And he's much taller than me. I'm not sure if you can see this, but actually, when we stand up, he's just about this much higher than. And he would put them at the top of the cupboard, and I can't get to them. And I want to tell you, I stopped eating them because it was such a hassle. I got angry a few times, right? Because you get frustrated. I mean, I paid money and I like those things, and they're my preferences. Damn it!
Cookies
And then he puts them up there, I can't access it, but it works.
So guys,
You're right.
I'll tell you the science around this. If the chocolates or the cookies are sitting on the
Or the popcorn.
the popcorn's actually not too bad as long as it's not too salty.
You're taking even that away from me.
No, I'm not. You're making me sound like the control freak. No, so I'm gonna give you this. I want to give you guys the science of this. If your unhealthy stuff is out on the counter where it's visible, the limbic system which is the reward-seeking system, will want to take it and eat it. So what happens if you get tired or distracted or stressed? You'll grab the cookie or the chocolate, you'll eat it without even thinking about it. So just having it visually accessible increases the chance by a lot that you're going to actually eat it. So that's why if it's a bag of cookies or whatever, I put it in the top shelf that she can't see, right? And so therefore she doesn't have that kind of limbic system eating at it, and it's more convenient. It takes a few more steps. So we're all human. This is all like scientific stuff that you can tap into in order to maximize a better diet.
Look at me now.
She looks
Rob, that is a very scientific and fair analogy. but I would be very cranky.
Christine, you and me. Christine, come on over. Stay with us for a week.
And I'll
And
bring
then
a
we'll
quick-
blame you for all the wonderful cookies in the cupboard.
So, I mean, the other thing I would say is it's okay to
Yeah.
eat, that piece of chocolate cheesecake, for instance. I think I'm totally okay with it. But what I would say is eat it very slowly and mindfully and really savor it. This should not be like
It's true. It's true.
automatic eating. It's like,
That's
no,
a
I really love chocolate cheesecake. I'm gonna have it like once a week for dessert, and I'm gonna really savor it, right? So I'm not saying deny yourself.
absolutely, absolutely.
yeah.
And yeah. And just do everything in moderation. So
Yeah.
we're not saying that you should deprive, because eating is part of our quality of life. So you don't want to have a poor quality of life.
Agreed.
The truth is, we took a long time to get where we are
Yeah.
today, and so, and it
And
took
we
all those techniques, I have to say, and I didn't particularly like them, but Rob, they work, man, they work.
We happen to be vegan as well.
We are vegan.
Yeah.
We're vegan a year and a half
And
vegan.
we shouldn't probably use that word. We eat a plant-based diet.
Yes, agreed,
And
agreed.
frankly, there's really good science to
Yeah.
say that you get your proteins and you'll feel stronger and better. So,
And I want to talk about even the fact that we break that sometimes. So
Yeah.
on occasion, you will have fish.
Yeah.
So it's possible. So in other words, we're not fanatics,
Yeah.
like, you set up a rule and then, what kind of life is that?
right. Enjoy your cheesecake, I think is the
Like,
takeaway.
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, so
All right.
the second way you can empower yourself is through diet, right?
Yes,
Getting the advice of an expert is really important.
yes, it is.
Okay, so how else is it that you would actually influence your health and how you feel and how much energy you have and your emotional life? Like, what's the other healthy habit? Anybody want to chat that way?
Brian.
Go ahead, Ryan.
I find that, and my wife has told me many, many times, but sleep, excuse me, sleep. If you don't get a good night's sleep, you're dragging. And then
Yep.
instead of grabbing the fruit, you go to the drawer where the chocolate, my chocolate's in the drawer.
Yes.
Because I can't reach that high, but no, and sleep is huge.
Yeah.
For your body to regenerate, and my wife's probably listening to me downstairs now and thinking, my gosh, he finally learned that.
So I've been reading the sleep science recently because I'm about to give a talk on sleep, and you're absolutely right. It has a profound influence really on all aspects of our health, including, well, obviously the energy level, but how clearly you think. We become much more emotionally labile when we're sleep deprived.
Yeah.
It influences our sugar levels. We're much more likely to have diabetes, much more likely to have heart problems. It's like you really need, okay, honey,
What?
how much sleep do you need?
How much sleep? 8 hours minimum.
Yeah, so it's 7 to 9 for adults, but definitely, like I'm an 8+ type of guy. And I'm after
You startled me.
other tips. Sorry about that. So I'm starting with these guys too. So I'm after other tips because you can't force yourself to have a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
But you can create the conditions
Yes.
in which
Turn off the lights at least an hour before you go to bed. No telephones, no computers,
screens.
no screens.
Can I add another? Oh, just
Yeah,
while
yeah,
you're
yeah.
grabbing? So our daughter
Yes.
got these blue blocker glasses. So it blocks the blue light. The science shows that because we're typically on our phones or doing emails, et cetera, so you wear those in the evening, stops the blue light from the screens getting your eyes, because the blue light kind of mimics the sun and that suppresses melatonin. The melatonin is the molecule that helps you fall asleep. So by getting into the screen, it really does suppress and so on.
So no TV, read a book. Read a book.
Read it like a paper book. Yeah.
Yes. Try to stay away from the news before going to bed, because then you're gonna, you're gonna be
aggravating stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Don't have an argument before going to bed.
Right. Don't exercise. Don't.
Be upset tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to say another thing. Something that's exactly. Another thing that's going to be irritating is if you're going to drink coffee, it really should be very early in the day, because the
Tea.
half-life of caffeine is 8 hours, so it really can't influence it. Alcohol is not good for sleeping. One way to reset your clock is to when you get up first thing in the morning, make sure you see natural lights. You have to kind of get outside and actually, you don't have to look at the sun, but
Just to be outside.
Just be
Yeah, that's a
outside.
very good one. And that's
Yeah.
easy to do.
Yeah.
So you get out of bed and the first thing you do, you either go on your balcony
Yeah.
or outside. Try not to go in your underwear because I've done that once with a t-shirt on top. And then I realized, I said, oh my God, oh my dear God.
it's funny that the neighbors.
And I had the ugly ones too, you know. I'm going to stop here.
We had like a whole set of neighbors that kind of got up at the same time for like a week later. type thing.
Nobody did. Not for that, trust me.
Right. Dark room, stay in the dark, make it cool.
Yeah.
So again,
And yeah.
we're introducing these ideas. You guys can actually go and research this, figure this out, listen to the talks, and then test it out.
Mhm,
Right. And
mhm.
again, why are we doing this?
I mean, we give entire talks about this and we spend, a couple of hours talking about those things because there's a lot to say around it.
There's a lot of science.
One thing that we do, and listen, I'm a quality of life expert, and I don't care what we're going to talk about. I'm always going to wove connection and intimacy to it. We talked about exercise. Recreational intimacy is very important for keeping that love tank full. We don't want it low. So you can actually fill your love tank through recreational intimacy. Then we talked about diet, and I talked to you a little bit about quality of life. You can also fill that love tank by sharing in food,
Mhm.
by eating
Cooking
slowly
is
and
amazing.
devouring that food the way you would devour a lover, and taking your time to chew slowly. Yeah, they say the best sex is when you slow down, and you slow really, really way down, gents. It's the same with food. Chew slowly, savor that tomato, savor that beautiful fresh onion, enjoy it with someone. Try not to
Right.
eat when you are upset. There are way too many studies showing that that's extremely toxic for our health.
Mhm.
You notice, and you notice that, right? When if I have something going on in my life, Rob will look at me and say, why don't you eat? I can't, none there.
Right. Right.
I calm down, the emotions out of the way, then I eat.
Can I add the
Yeah.
intimacy piece to the sleep part of it?
Yes, please. I was hoping you would.
So we
You're
actually
going to find out a lot about our life today. There's just no blackmailing, please.
Exactly, yeah.
Don't write to
This
anybody.
is a confidential presentation, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
What happens in Rome stays in Rome, the last I
So
checked.
we nap. She snuggles into my
Oh.
neck. This is like a noontime.
Oh, my dear
Like
God.
that.
I drool too. Did I tell you? I drool. I drool on your shirt.
We actually do a little snuggle just before we go to bed.
Yeah.
Right. So again, it's this oxytocin that we're going to talk about. First thing when we wake up in the morning.
You pet me like
Yeah,
that. I
yeah.
pet him. I
Yeah.
pet him. He pets me.
Yeah.
I usually pet him at night. Or no, you'd pet me at night. I
Yeah.
pet you in the morning.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So there's these ways to facilitate practice relaxation to get a better night's sleep. Okay.
And we have a beautiful cat. I mean, we have a Mancoon cat. Oh boy, don't we hold him? And Rob loves to hold him when he's without the shirt on.
Uh-oh. This is
Oh,
getting
so
personal.
nice. Well, right, he's a very furry animal. Joy, where are you, honey? Oh, too bad he's not around.
Because I want to make sure you have enough time to present
Yes,
on your
yes,
side.
yes.
So 3 so far is the sleep
Hmm.
is important. The last one that I put into the kind of physical side of things that you may think is more psychological
Hmm.
is actually practicing a relaxation technique,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
it's
Yeah.
getting the kind of chattering, upset, agitated mind just to kind of come back home. And so it's like learning a skill. If you practice that skill every day, like practicing the piano every day, those muscles get better, the neurocircuitry, the brain connections get stronger and stronger and stronger. So that actually begins to permeate your day.
Mhm.
So that's, in fact, why don't we do that as a group right now? Just because
Okay.
it will break us up a little bit.
Okay.
So I'm asking everybody to stand up
Okay.
again, and we're just doing a little bit of qigong together.
Oh, I love that.
So just come to a position where you're kind of shoulder widths apart,
Mhm.
and you breathe in through your nose as you bring your arms up to zombie position, and you breathe out through your mouth as you're going down. So breathing in and breathing out. And use your mindfulness to watch now, breathing in and breathing out. And really focus on the sensations. And again. And I don't know if you can see me, but just go arch over to one side, just very gentle, be very gentle on your body as you're doing this. Just arch left, arch right, arch left, arch right. Yeah. So that's Qigong. Come on back. The relaxation technique I'm talking about is something in which you can practice settling down the nervous part of your nervous system, the stress side. And usually it's by a long, slow, smooth out breath as you're breathing out. And then breathing in again. Long, slow, smooth out breath. Inevitably, what will happen is the chattering mind will come in and you keep bringing your attention back to the exercise. So whether you're doing Qigong or a breathing exercise that I just did right now, or a body scan or visualization, your chattering mind is going to start thinking about stuff. When you recognize it, you bring it back home again. And that's proven kind of a stress reduction technique.
Yes. And the way I like to look at it, I once, when I was a student in graduate school, I had this psychotherapy professor who came up with this idea of, imagine that you have lots of strings coming from your head, and each one of them, it's a worry. I worry about my mortgage. I worry about my kids. I worry about my cancer diagnosis. I worry about my relationship with my radiation oncologist or surgeon. I worry about my family and so on. So, and the list goes on and on. So imagine that there's a little string, and each one represents what I'm worried about. And so the analogy that he made to us, to our class, was that every time, so every one of those strings takes your attention, and wherever your attention goes, your energy goes. Now, imagine your energy and attention, it's 100%. Now, the more worries you have, the less energy and attention you have for your own body to heal you and transform you and bring you to homeostasis. And he did that so effectively in class that we were all like, our eyes were popped up and we're like, oh, this is really bad.
Yeah.
Really bad. So the idea, that this whole science of meditation, whether it is focusing on your breathing, which is extremely effective. There are tons of studies out there to show that works. Whether you get an app, a calm app that forces you to quiet your mind. It doesn't matter whether you look at the flower, you go in your garden and you look at the flower, whatever you do that can cut away those distractors and suspend them so that you have all that energy, for healing and transformation. It's very effective. So it's just definitely something that we all ought to do.
It's like live in the moment. Yes. And you'll be able to grab onto the balloon when you need it, right? So you're going into your medical visit, you can bring that balloon in and kind of draw on that information. But for the most part, we don't need to carry and hold on to so many balloons. You can just be in this moment right now and appreciate this moment right now.
Sure. Love. And I just wanted to say, it's interesting that actually, a lot of us prefer to fill our love tank through presence. So presence is not only quality time, but really being present with someone there, the person that is in front of you. That's yet another. And some of us have that as a preference in terms of how we fill our love tank. So there you have it, presence. So think about it this way. Next time you really want to go and see a friend, and you really want to stay with them and tell them what's on your mind, or just be in their presence, because they know how to stay in that moment without cluttering it with noise, with words, maybe it could be also, it serves two purposes. Number one, it helps you actually heal. That's your body telling you, seek more of those situations because they're good for you. Our bodies have our back, but it could also be a mechanism for feeling our love tank.
Mhm. 2 for 1,
Yeah.
right? When we're in the present, we feel that sense of connection.
Yeah.
It actually increases that love tank. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. So, Hannah, I want to make sure that you've got time
Yeah.
to present your side. We got about 15 minutes
Yeah.
to go. Do you want me to show some
I would
slides?
love
or-
that if we could. I
Yeah.
would love that, Rob.
Yeah.
All right. So maybe I'll just wait for you to do that.
Yeah.
I'm so happy we're going to be talking to you a little bit about that.
Oops.
Oh,
Try one more. I'm just going to try to bring this PowerPoint in so I can push it forward here.
yeah.
There we
Very good.
go.
Love. Yeah. All the way.
Sitting is the new smoking.
Mhm.
Healthy sleep habits. Alan, do you want to do
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. So here's 4 things that we want to talk about it with you. There's not much time left, but we still want to touch on every
Yeah.
one of them.
Yeah.
The first one is about the love tank and about love languages. There is a scientist out there that came up with a test that you can take online to find out what is your preference, because we are all entitled to our preferences and we all have means of filling out that love tank. And there are various ways to do that. The second one, sorry.
You know, I sorry because I got you.
Okay, if not, I can just look here. I can
Okay.
see it and they can't.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
okay. The second thing that we want to talk to you about that is equally important is something called the Imago Dialogue. My sweet friends, I don't believe there's something more powerful in terms of a technique that will help us feel alive
Yeah.
and happy than this technique. It's called the Imago Dialogue.
It's like
So-
in conversation,
in
how do you
conversa-
really
yeah.
listen? How do you really stay connected with somebody? Yeah.
And so we will give you an example of that, a taste of that. And hopefully sometimes, who knows, maybe our paths meet again and we'll spend about 3-4 hours on that one day because it's worth our time. The third thing we want to talk to you about is the importance of being held. And we touched a little bit about
Right.
that, but we'll say some more. And then the fourth one is the importance of play.
Yeah.
Being children, because after all, in our hearts, we're born as children, we stay as children.
And joy is a powerful thing in terms of the immune function as well, right?
Huge.
Yeah.
So let's start by talking about the love languages. So I want you to write this down. 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman is his name. So he's a psychologist that came up with those 5 love languages. And they are quality time, words of affirmation, giving and receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. All right, so let's talk about them. Quality time is some people prefer to feel their love tag by spending time with another person. And so you could be, if you're in a relationship, and this relationship could be with your loved one, like Rob and I, or it could be with a neighbor, with a good friend. It could be with someone in your family. It could be with a child, with a grandson, with a granddaughter. Quality time is about really being present there. Your mind not going places, but staying there.
Yeah.
And there are gifts of presence, like gift and presence. Presence. When you actually, you say something and I say, oh, and eternity just entered in my heart. And then I share something back and we just stay there. We soak in that mighty present moment together. It's
Beautiful.
delightful. And for people, if that's your love language, if you take the quiz online and you find out that's your love language, then don't be surprised why you might be in a relationship and the other person thinks that, maybe their love language is giving gifts, receiving gifts, and they keep bringing you all sorts of stuff and your love tank is low. Because you're talking German and they're talking Italian. And then no capisci niente. Right? You want,
Right.
so that may not work because it doesn't work. So find out what your love languages
Yeah.
are. So that's quality time. Second one is words of affirmation.
Oh, honey, don't you look handsome in that shirt?
Well, or else I really appreciate, you're working so hard and doing that laundry and,
Oh, there
it's
you
like,
go. There you have it.
you know, it's-
Oopsie, oopsie. Do, 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 do. My love tank is going up. Keep saying yes.
Yeah, well,
Just tell me how adorable I am.
you are
Just tell me.
adorable and
Yeah.
you're
Oh, just tell me how
brilliant.
gorgeous I
You're
am.
gorgeous
Oh,
as well.
honey, thank you. Oh, gee.
And you wrote a
Don't
wonderful
stop.
grant.
Oh, just don't stop. Just keep talking. Keep talking, baby. You're scoring.
Yeah.
And my love tank is going
I
up.
appreciate your you love so many people and you're like
Oh
really
my
open.
God, I love your lips.
Yeah.
Oh, just love your lips. Okay. I think
They get
Oh, they
so right,
get
so
the idea.
you're appreciating that person and you're saying it. Yeah.
yeah, and it's so important because we do so many things around the house and it's just we are
It's
people.
not like taking
people.
the person for granted. You're actually
Right.
saying something
Yeah.
like, I see you and I appreciate you.
Yes.
I value you and
Yes.
saying that. Yeah.
Yes. Giving, receiving gifts. Listen, money is cheaper than grief. If your partner, if the person with whom you share space and life and living, if that's their love language, money is cheaper than grief. So you could buy them things, or you can give them the gift of presence,
Right.
because that's a gift too,
Yeah.
right?
I spend some time as a gift of being
love-
going out together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doesn't have to be
No,
monetary. Yeah.
absolutely. Then there is the acts of service, love language.
Right. So I know Gabriella's busy. I know she's writing a grant. She's over there. And so then I'm going to, kind of help her in her day by, for instance, making lunch.
Oh, yes.
Right. So I get the potatoes going. I, start heating up this different type of stuff. So
Yes.
I'm serving her in some way or form.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
service.
yeah.
It's a service, really. Or, I know that Rob is busy and, we washed all those, shirts and we put them there usually we let them dry. But he doesn't have time to iron. So I quickly take it and I, iron it and
Yeah.
I have it there for
So
him.
it's helping me get out
Yeah.
the door because then I have a nice shirt to kind of take to work.
So if that's his love language, then
It's like,
I need to
thank you,
hear
I
that.
need
And it's a form of love for me to
Yeah.
speak to him in ways he can accept and understand.
I'm very appreciative. Yeah.
Because when we do that, the message we're giving each other, listen, I want to engage in living with you.
Mhm.
I want to be with you. And that's important because when we make that statement, it's like a memorandum of understanding. I'm going to see your interest as my own. I'm going to
Right.
see me as you.
Right.
That's very powerful.
And I'm trying to understand her, right? Like, what's her perspective? What does she value? And I'm trying to feed that. That's what I'm trying to serve her.
Yeah. Physical touch. That could be another love language that fills that love tank.
Right. There's the
Kissing,
snuggles,
touching,
yeah.
snuggles. We're just talking, massaging.
yeah,
Oh, yes. You are not with someone. Okay, let's talk about this.
Right.
How do we hug ourselves? So actually, the first thing we want to do, I just want to exemplify. How do you actually give a hug? There's a science to it. Do you mind, Rob? How do you give a hug? So that's what we're just going to demonstrate.
It's not the A-frame hug.
I told you
It's not
Tap,
this.
tap, 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 tap,
It's
tap.
not that.
Not that.
Okay, are we still
So
okay?
actually, yes. Take a deep breath in. Let's take a deep breath in. Now, really envelop. Now let go, baby. Let go. I'm already melting. Oh my gosh, that was amazing.
Yeah. You know what? If you hug for about 20 seconds, you get more kind of oxytocin out of it.
Oh
You
my
kind of
God.
release into it. I'm hoping that there's some mirror neurons there. You guys actually got some benefit from that as
You
well.
did.
It's 10, yeah, it's 10 times, Christine, it's 10 times more effective than that meditation that we did, that setting the intention. And that was good, wasn't it? But when you give a true hug, take that and put it on steroids. And that's what you get,
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah.
It makes me
Incredible.
think of a television show I saw, and they were lined up to see a guru who all they did was give hugs.
Wow.
But
There
they
you go.
gave a hug for a full minute. And,
Wow.
everybody kind of, how you all start and you're all stiff and,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah,
you-
yeah.
and then, but as you were being hugged more
Yes.
with intensity, you know, that you just couldn't help but see the physical change in the
Yes.
person that was being
Yes.
hugged.
Yeah.
And then when they came away, it was just, you know,
They
their
were
whole
glowing.
perception had changed.
Yes.
I just want to interrupt for 1 sec. I noticed that Lynn had her hand up a little bit ago, and I just wanted to make sure that we didn't miss an important part.
Lynn, did you have a question for me? A ways back?
No, not at all. I was just filling up that thing for Gabriella.
Oh,
I saw the tank rising.
physical touch is both. It's our love language.
Our
Number
primary-
one.
number one on the list,
Yeah.
Thank
So-
you, Christine.
Yeah. So let's talk about self-hug.
Yes.
That's very
Important.
important as well. Yeah. So crossing your arms and closer to the neck. Something that I do at nighttime.
Yeah.
You got it. You got
guys
it,
can all
Brian.
do
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. So it's such a try it tonight when you go to bed, whether you go on your side, on the left side or the right side, try to do that. And you'll see what an interesting feeling that is. You wouldn't think much of it, but it does really, it's actually very, very effective. Rob gets very hot at night. So after we cuddle, usually he says, okay, he goes on his side of the bed, I go on my side of the bed, unless he's going through something difficult. And then he does something that he's not even conscious of. And he keeps seeking me to the bed. You know, wherever I'm, he kind of gets close. And then he denies that ever happened. So that what I do is I turn around on the other side and I go like this. I go to sleep within minutes. I'm gone. It's such an effective way. And again, try to take that deep breath. And you might want to visualize when you let go that either you're hugging someone, it could be a pet, a person, or just hugging yourself, just telling yourself, I love you just the way you are. Bless you. Thank you for being the vessel for me to manifest myself.
Beautiful. That's
Mm.
wonderful.
It's very, very effective. Oh my gosh, this was effective. There's science to that. We've done studies. All right, now I want to talk to you. So that was about the love languages. So it's a good idea for you to take this quiz and find out what's your love language, and then maybe try to communicate it to those that are close to you, like a partner, like a child, like a friend, and you know, see or at least understand yourself. Why is it that you merge more towards some people and not others? You'll find a lot of answers. Why? Because they speak your love language. You speak Italian, they speak Italian. It works. Connection. All right.
Do you want to share that screen?
I'm going to share
Great.
that screen. All right. The second one.
Radio.
Yes.
Okay.
So I want to talk to you about this imago theory. Such a great, powerful thing. Oh my goodness. Harville Hendricks and Helen Luckily Hunt came up with this process of connecting with somebody else.
Through dialogue, yeah.
Through dialogue. It has 3 stages. It has mirroring, validating, and empathy. I cannot tell you the number of studies that have been conducted on this technique, and it works like clockwise. The mirroring part. So imagine you're sitting with someone and you're trying to connect. And I think, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Let's
let them see
yeah,
it,
because I think it's
You're-
much more important that they see us and
Yeah.
then we demonstrate this. Oops, I'm just gonna, 1 second, Rob. Just gonna make this small. So, imago theory. Suppose that Rob was wearing a certain tie. And me watching his tie reminded me of something. And so I would go to Rob and say, Rob, is this a good time?
So she's asking me permission.
I'm asking permission.
Can we kind of do this connecting type of dialogue? And I say, yes, yeah, this is a great time.
This is a great time.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Permission.
something triggered something within me, right? I asked for permission. He says yes. Now, this whole process, when we enter, so the moment he says yes, we enter a sacred space. In that space, I'm going to take him with me like a companion, like a visitor. I'm going to take him to a foreign land. That land is my inner sanctuary. Blessed is he.
because I will allow him to go in here.
Sweet.
So that's the memorandum of understanding. What are the conditions, you might say, Gabriella? So there are a few. He needs to suspend all judgment. And he needs to enter a territory called the don't know mind. So no assumptions, no assuming me motivations, no assumptions, no assuming me motivations. No matter how long time I spend with him, he still doesn't know me. No matter how much time I spend with him, I still don't know the inner depths of his beingness. We agree on that? All right.
Don't
So
know.
don't know. That's the memorandum of understanding. So I say, well, I saw you wear that tie today. So let me see if Ilka says, and then I'll say, it reminded me of my dad. The way you were talking to me, you are pausing, you are looking up to me, smiling, but not saying much. It reminded me of my dad.
So then I mirror that back to her. Let me see if I get this right. So when you were looking at me today and you saw my tie and kind of how I was looking and so on, it reminded me of your dad. It reminded you of your dad. Did I get that right?
Yeah. But there's more to that.
Well, tell me. I'm interested.
No assuming motivation, don't know mind. And he's acting with respect because we entered that sacred space. Well, you know, it's true. My dad was gone a lot. You know, he was an important man in the army, and I didn't see him much. But the fondest memories of him are when he was dressed impeccably, because as a general, he was dressed impeccable.
Yeah.
Even when he was at home, he was wearing a jacket,
and suit
yeah,
and all
a
that,
suit and all that. But the fondest memories of him is looking at him and him just smiling at me, not necessarily saying something. And I felt so loved and utterly protected. I felt understood.
So let me see if I get this right. So when you were a child and you saw him dressed impeccably in his suit because he was, you know, a high officer in the army and so on, but I must also hear that you had this kind of very fond memory because sometimes he would actually just smile and pause and listen, and you just really felt like there was this kind of sense of connection and love. Did I get that right?
Yes, sweetheart, you did. And you don't know, but actually, you make me feel that way, and I want to thank you for that. There are glimpses where I feel this presence, and I almost get confused. I don't know who's there. It's something that I value greatly. It's a great energy, and you emanate that to me. You represent that symbol. You're that symbol in my life. Thank you for that.
Wow. So, yeah. So if I understood that, is that it sounds like somehow I'm symbolic of that type of unconditional love feeling, and it's like really important for you in some way or form. Did I? Yeah. Is there more? Did I get there?
There is more to that, because I often wondered in my life, why is it that men love me? If a man or a boy loved me, why?
Right.
Is it because of my hair?
Right.
Is it because the way I speak? Is it because of my grades in school, or now as an adult woman?
Right.
Is it because of my
beauty? Yeah.
Maybe how I look? Is it because of how successful I am at work, and you know what I do? You know how I maintain my home, or do you see me for who I am? And
right.
Do you understand that?
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is you wonder, like throughout your lifetime, when these men or young men were in love with you or loved you or liked you or whatever, you wondered what it was that they saw in you that made them love you. And there's some other point. I missed one other kind of major point around that.
Yeah.
But it's, go ahead.
I want you to love me for the soul that lives within, and not all those things that I know are gonna go away, and I can't maintain them.
Right.
My skin is I'm gonna get old.
Right.
I might get a cancer diagnosis. Maybe I have an accident. Maybe I'll be crippled for the rest of my life.
Right.
Those things go. I want you to come home and be joyful.
Right.
For seeing me, for loving me unconditionally, for that spirit that lives within,
Right.
that is Gabriella. And that will never change, never die.
Right. So I guess what I'm hearing is that you wish that I love you for the spirit that lies within, and not for the temporary stuff, the beauty or the physical beauty, or your capacity, or et cetera, that I love you for that.
And when you entered the room and you looked at me that way with this tie, for a moment, that's what I felt.
Right. And so it sounds like when I entered the room and you had that feeling and I looked at you, it was that same feeling that you had as a child. Yeah. Okay.
All right. I think you got it.
Yeah.
But I want to tell you I didn't play this, by the way.
Yeah.
Actually, I just communicated something to my husband.
Yeah.
We do this all the time.
Yeah.
This is our classroom, guys. And we're only people. Those glasses don't sit very nicely on me, so I have to give
But
me
I still love her because I can still see the spirit within. So
yeah.
I don't love her because of her glasses.
Oh man, that was I can't believe we do this kind of work.
Yeah.
So there was mirroring there, because there are three aspects to Imago, and I don't want to. So he enters my space. The memorandum of understanding is no judgment, no assuming of motivation. He mirrored, noticed. He entered the don't know and stayed there.
Right.
Then he validated me.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Validated me. So we have studies of people's brains while engaging in Imago. And we have noticed people's brains changing when they get validated.
Yeah.
So mental health goes down, neurodegenerative diseases go down, autoimmune diseases go down. There is more health, more prosperity, better
All
mood,
those improvements,
incredible improvements
Yeah.
when somebody gets validated.
Right.
Don't
You
say
listen.
Don't say yeah. You don't.
Yeah.
Right?
Beautiful
So
technique.
that makes sense. It makes sense that blah blah blah. Then there's empathy, right?
Right.
Empathy.
I imagine you must be
Yes.
feeling like
Yes.
as a child, feeling
Yes.
heard and seen.
Yes.
I can see how that would really be connected. So I'm kind of trying to project and understand.
Right, sweetheart. And when you do that,
Yeah.
you become, because you enter that sacred territory where there's only one. I no longer know the delineation of where do I end and you begin? Where do you start and I begin?
Right.
That's the most sacred place on earth.
Agreed.
Because there is no duality, there's no
Yeah.
separation. There's a unity here. It's me talking to me.
Wonderful.
And the more you get better at this and you understand this technique, the better you get at it. And he benefits as well.
Oh, for certain.
Because I become him. So
Right.
I'm only a reflection. What he sees in me is the outer picture of an inward condition. So this is incredibly healing. Where are the people?
Oops.
They disappeared.
There they are.
Oh, they're there. Yeah. So incredibly healing for everybody. It's just
Yes.
magnificent.
Yeah. That's like
Powerful,
truly being
powerful
heard.
stuff.
So we're going to stop now in terms of the presentation, and I think
Okay.
we're going to go into the.
All right. Can I?
No.
No, you keep talking. You keep talking, because I'm just going to put in the chat room what I wanted to tell them about the next one, about the
Right.
importance of being held.
We'll send you.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Copy.
it's
I'm
there.
just going to put in
But
the
I
chat.
just realized we're like an hour and a half.
Okay,
in,
wow.
so-
You know what? This was worth it.
Yeah. No, just to kind of experience that one. So.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know how to do
Yeah.
that. So copy. So let's take some questions. Let's talk to us
Yeah.
here. Talk to us.
So we gave you kind of a fuller kind of overview of some of the things you can do to empower yourself. So there's the kind of physical things that are super important that allow your body to function, allow you to connect. And we talked about relaxation technique. Gabrielle talked about the physical touch of these things. And also there are techniques that you can learn on the day-to-day that allow you to stay connected with your friends and family. Because you can really imago with lots of these
Love,
things.
can I actually take no more than a no? Okay, fine. I love you.
Thanks. So I just wanted to make sure we're respecting people's time.
Yes,
here and just having
agreed,
better conversations.
Agreed.
Yeah. So folks, we'll just go from there. What's on your mind after that kind of bigger over presentation? Go ahead, Christine.
It's a lot to absorb.
Yeah, I know.
You know, there's a lot to think about, and it's valuable, valuable information, and it's something that we really, it's something we need in our lives to be validated and respected and to be heard. I think that's one of the greatest gifts we can give each other, is actually pay attention and truly hear what the other person is saying. Maybe you could give us very briefly a technique if you say in a relationship, if the friend or a partner or a parent, they're not receptive to that kind of conversation.
Right.
So what might be a quick I don't know if you can share quickly, but what might be something we could do too?
Yeah.
So the imago technique is only to be applied with someone that is willing to engage with you in imago. So usually it's being trained to both people, or you can share it with someone, but you can't force it onto somebody else. There has to be willingness.
Yeah. And so the answer to that one is, I think it's important to have one person within your life where you can just be open and honest, and you can learn this imago technique, and you've actually, they can also learn it as well. And then it becomes very magical, because then you're really listening to each other. But from a practical perspective, you can listen to anybody within your life using this type of technique. So you won't necessarily be able to share what's on your mind, but at least you'll be very open to being able to receive what they're talking about, and they will feel heard, and that will be helpful for them.
Yeah. Actually, you're just, I love you so much. You just reminded me of a beautiful workshop that they gave, the two of them. And that's what they were suggesting to the audience, because somebody, I think, asked a similar question with Christine. That if you don't have anybody, how about you practice imago on someone without even telling them what you're doing?
Exactly.
And
No question.
how it makes you feel.
Yeah, it has a huge effect.
Yes.
Like, you can see the whole demeanor and everything change in that person. No question.
To have.
We'll also open it up just to anybody who's there. We're going to talk about any aspect of the presentation this evening, right from the physical stuff to, we didn't go over the medical system side of it, but we're happy to talk about how you empower yourself. Go ahead, Brian.
I've been blessed because I have my wife here, and we bubbled with our grandkids and that through this COVID, but I can't help but think there's a lot of people that were, like one of my sons is by himself, and he's not within the bubble, but my mother-in-law is by herself, and it's been extremely, and I know I'm saying what everybody else has said, but it's been extremely difficult to feel love and support, all of that during COVID.
Yeah.
And I guess just a comment that I admire people that have got through that. And there is some vaccines working away, and we're on our way out of it. But it's amazing, and I'm very respectful and of the people that have gotten through COVID by themselves. That's basically just a comment.
Agreed. Yeah. I mean, we realized that because the mental health was really affected by the isolation part of this, and we didn't kind of go into what are some of the things that you can do to help yourself through COVID, because hopefully it's over now. But all of these things of like video conferencing or calling, or any type of that kind of social interaction, which people understand they're just going to be open and honest and vulnerable. Because when you do that, you're kind of modeling or setting the expectation within the relationship for them to be open, honest, and vulnerable. And so that creates that kind of sense of connection.
Yes.
And that's very healing for
very
all of
much
us.
so, because it improves the function of the immune system, and the parasympathetic nervous system.
And not to say it's easy, right?
Yeah.
When you are isolated, it takes more work.
Yeah.
That's something that we've done at Kidney Cancer Canada. We realized the impact of COVID, and we started at the very beginning. We hold coffee chats every month.
Excellent.
And it's exactly like this. We all bring our favorite beverage, we get together in the chat room, and, it's pretty much any kind of open conversation. Of course,
Yeah.
it's mostly about kidney cancer, but it goes in different directions, but it's just seeing a face, casual conversation, and you feel a part of a community.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
that's something we've done. And if anybody here is a kidney cancer patient or a caregiver, they're more than welcome to join our coffee chats. They're on the, you just click on the website and join in, and you don't even have to have your camera on. It's just come and be a part of the group. So
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Well, I think the very fact that you showed up tonight
Yes.
shows, the whole talk tonight was, let's talk, let's connect.
Yeah.
Let's talk from the heart. How are you doing? What's happening?
Yeah.
And Rob and I really try to bring some of those practical solutions to improve that, to improve the communication, to allow connection
Right.
with your loved ones.
Yeah, and everything that you do, like literally every activity, you can bring it into the relationship, and the relationships really are healing. Even if you're frustrated with your partner, it's still, you're in a relationship.
Yes, you're communicating at least. Even frustration, it's a form of communication. It's okay, something is not working out. And again, Imago could be extremely effective at getting at, what's not working. How can we make things work? Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I really appreciated your talk, doctors. I must say that I've had kidney cancer and I've had breast cancer before that, and now I have metastasized breast cancer in my spine, all the way down my spine, from my neck right down. And what you said about your goal, I really appreciated all that was under there, such as you mentioned cure. Well, this is not a curable situation, but you did mention longevity, and then you built on that throughout your talk, and I really did appreciate it, because I needed that. And I really do appreciate the coffee chats. I have gone to 2 of them, and they're very helpful. Very helpful.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the feedback. Really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Really appreciate that.
And even if we just listen within kind of this coffee chat scenario, it is actually healing to be part of community and to recognize that you're not alone in that journey. This is
beautiful.
The human experience.
You're not alone. Yes, that's very important. And another, I think, key element to this, and what excites Rob and I to talk about it, is that, listen, none of us can avoid sickness. I don't know how else to put it. None of us. And it's one thing for our bodies to decrepit or be sick or be faulty in some way. It's another thing altogether for us to be willing to give our state of the health of our mind away. I'll repeat that because I think that's important. Let us not give the state of our mind away to sickness.
Right.
Because to me, I think there is an epidemic of sickness of the mind. We're all so willing to give our peace of mind, our joy, our love away, so willing to give it away for something so much smaller.
Right.
And so those practical solutions are a way of maintaining that health. And even the Imago example I gave was about that. Can we be loved for who we are? Can we be seen for who we are? Can we embrace that? Can we communicate and demonstrate that to others? Because to give is to have it all. And now that's power.
Yeah, and you're demonstrating it to yourself, the relationship to self, right? What I hear when I hear Gabrielle talk about that is, no matter what's happening to us physically, we may be physically weak or going through treatment, et cetera, something is bigger than that. There's a transcendent aspect of ourselves that we don't have to give away. So there can be a sense of healing despite the fact that there can be some physical issues to be dealing with. Yeah, beautifully said, huh? Yeah.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Yeah, we like to use the term thriving.
Nice.
We have lots of, and I'm sure with every cancer and every life-changing illness, there may be at a point where there isn't a lot of stuff to do, or, you're just maintaining,
Yeah.
but you make the choice to thrive. And you may not be able to do all the activities that you used to do, but you do what you can and enjoy what you can.
Yeah.
And we have lots of patients that are thriving with cancer.
Beautiful. Right.
Yeah.
Focus on
Such
what
as
you
Kim.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And in fact, you can be more healthy
Yes.
than someone that has a healthy
Physical
body,
yeah.
but a sick mind.
That's right.
Yeah. And that's the goal.
Thank you so much, Sonia, for that. Highly recommend the Mago. Obviously, you've had some experience with it as well, so thank you. That's so
Yeah.
sweet. She said highly
I
recommend.
just like to,
Oh,
I just like to thank you, Dr. Rob and Gabriella. This has been a wonderful evening. Thank you for bringing this into my home and sharing this with me. It's just been so, it just fills me, it fills my heart. I just feel so joyful right now.
Well,
And I'm so grateful to you.
thank
and
you.
we're
very
taking
grateful.
you. Thank you for
And
the
to
gift.
all of you, who have come and shared this evening, I just feel the power and the connection.
Yes.
It is so important to have that connectiveness to everybody. So thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you for
I
coming.
have to, yeah. Thank you for the invitation. Very grateful to you. Thank you so much.
You're
And
welcome.
thank you for the
Oh.
gift you gave us
Yeah.
by being here. 'Cause we
Oh.
all benefit. We all grow. We all heal.
Oh, you know what? I'm just so grateful to have been able to share this evening with you. And Kim, to you, I'm speechless. You're just such a strong person.
Nice.
And yeah, just keep thriving. Keep thriving, girl. Okay.
You rock.
Yeah. Bye-bye. Thanks again. I have to run.
Good night, Lynn.
Blessings.
Love to you all. Yeah. Bye-bye.
I see. Oh, Sonia's clapping. Thank you, Sonia.
Yeah.
We echo your applause.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We can say good night,
Well,
folks.
I guess-
Yeah.
I guess it's getting to be that time.
Yeah.
I am very grateful for you joining us this evening and sharing your methods and wisdom and love.
Yeah.
And I see William's giving you the thumbs up as well. I agree, William. If there's no last questions, I'm just going to say thanks and good night. I'm so glad that you all came, and I hope that you are taking some good things away with you. This will be shared on our website. You'll be able to tap in, and we'll be sharing with Dr. Rob and Dr. Gabriella so that they can put it on their Healing Center website as well. So thanks again. And if you have questions, you can send them to info@kidneycancercanada.ca, and we'll see if we can get you the answers or the information you seek. And also, if you'd like to email the Healing Center, I'm sure that you're very capable, Maureen. She's just lovely.
Yeah,
She is lovely. She'd be very happy to try and help as well. So, so thanks again.
Yep. Have a great
Thank
night,
you.
everybody.
Good night,
Bless you.
Good
everyone.
night, everyone. Thank you. Take